In the deepest wilds of North America, an apex predator reigns. The grizzly bear, a symbol of raw power and untamed nature. Welcome to the domain of the forest's silent ruler. A colossal force in the brown bear family, the grizzly is an icon of raw power. Its silhouette is unmistakable, a massive, muscular frame crowned by a prominent shoulder hump. This is the engine for its earth-shattering digging strength. Towering at 5 to 6 feet and weighing up to 2,000 pounds, a bison is a formidable opponent. This is why a grizzly's hunt is more than predator versus prey. It's a showdown with a true rival. Driven by hunger, the grizzly seeks its meal. A lone hunter, it moves to strike a single bison. But with unified strength, the herd masses as one to drive the predator away. Driven by scarcity, the bear makes a daring move on a bison calf. The mother bison mounts a ferocious defense, but against the grizzly, an apex predator, it was a battle she could not win. The unforgiving wild demands that predators risk their lives for a meal. Even when faced with formidable prey, they cannot back down. The grizzly's struggle is rewarded with a prize worthy of the fight. The grizzly zeroes in on a wounded moose. Sensing weakness, the predator strikes. Hopeless, the moose surrenders to its fate. Nature bears witness to the clash of two titans. A clash of titans, Two bears collide in a savage battle for a mate. Every lunge and bite is more than an attack. It's a raw declaration of dominance. This is a duel to the death, and only one will survive. For the weaker, the price of defeat could be life itself. Danger is a constant presence, forcing animals to remain on high alert for a surprise attack. When a grizzly bear set upon her cub, the sheer force of a mother's love fueled a fierce defense. She successfully protected her young from the savage aggressor. A grizzly bear quietly challenges the alpha's reign. A minor dispute explodes into all-out war. Their display of raw power is a breathtaking spectacle. Once mature, the grizzly's diet becomes as diverse as its habitat. They snatch salmon during the frenzied spawning season and hunt hoofed animals like deer, young caribou, or moose calves. Beyond the fresh kill, they will excavate the earth for insects, feast on carrion, and brazenly usurp the kills of other species at every opportunity. Backed by overwhelming power and a razor-sharp sense of smell, the grizzly effortlessly dominates its natural domain. For the grizzly bear, salmon are a prize catch, especially during the epic upstream battle to spawn. Rivers and waterfalls churn with their immense numbers, transforming them into an irresistible and vulnerable target. Beneath the waterfalls, salmon risk their lives, battling upstream to spawn. But they fail to see the danger lurking ahead. A grizzly bear lies in ambush. It stands and watches, ready to clamp down on its prey with powerful jaws. As salmon surge upstream to spawn, grizzly bears patrol the shallows and thundering rapids. They scan the churning water, then unleash razor-sharp claws and powerful jaws to snatch their prey. Gorging on this feast of protein and fat, the bears pack on the pounds, building the vital reserves needed to survive the harsh winter ahead. This crucial hunt is the key to their strength and survival. Grizzly bears possess a cunning adaptability and an instinct for survival. They seize salmon with devastatingly powerful and precise strikes. This isn't merely a hunt, it's a demonstration of sheer power and agility. Born into the frozen darkness of a winter den, grizzly cubs enter the world as tiny, blind, and utterly helpless beings. Their mother is their living furnace and sole protector, nursing them until the spring thaw signals their emergence into the vast, wild world. For the next 2 to 3 years, the cubs shadow her every move in a brutal apprenticeship, learning to find food, evade predators, and master a harsh environment. This time is the crucial crucible that forges the essential skills for them to one day survive alone. To defy the killing frost, grizzly bears retreat to their dens, shutting down their bodies to wage a silent, months-long war fueled by pure fat. This battle is won in autumn, when a primal hunger drives them into a relentless eating frenzy to build their life-sustaining armor. They strategically carve these winter tombs into steep slopes, where a thick blanket of snow becomes a crucial shield against the cold. In the unforgiving wilds of Yellowstone, most bears are the architects of their own survival, clawing out their dens from the earth, while a few might commandeer a natural cave or snow-hewn fortress. Grizzly bears are creatures of solitude, coming together only for the fleeting moments of mating or when a mother fiercely guards her young. They are most active in the twilight hours of dawn and dusk, but in the shadow of human presence, they adapt, shifting their hunt to the cloak of night. With powerful scents, they stake their claim on vast territories, a silent language of dominance. The seasons dictate the ferocity of their competition, turning rivalries for food into a matter of survival. For the grizzly bear, the continuation of its lineage is a slow, deliberate process, demanding a long and arduous period of raising its young. The mating season ignites from late spring to early summer, but this species holds a remarkable reproductive secret: delayed implantation. Following conception, The embryo's journey is suspended, halting its development before attaching to the uterine wall. Only as the brutal cold of winter looms, signaling the start of hibernation, does the process resume, with cubs being born into the sanctuary of the den. Born utterly helpless, the cubs spend their first months in darkness, surviving on their mother's energy-rich milk. After emerging from the den, they continue to nurse for another 3 to 4 months before finally transitioning to the powerful diet of an adult grizzly.
From the overwhelming strength of the grizzly bear, the forest shifts its focus to another ruler, smaller in size, yet no less formidable. The Wolverine emerges quietly, carrying a reputation for ferocity and fearlessness that far exceeds its stature. In the wild, power is not defined by size alone, but by boldness and an unyielding will to stand its ground. A few brief clashes unfold between two Wolverines. Despite their small stature, their strength is anything but insignificant. With agile footwork and fluid, evasive movements, every action is calculated, fast, precise, and driven by pure survival instinct. Thanks to its keen senses, the weasel quickly detects prey even when it's very close. In the wild, no signals are random. With its strong jaws and sharp teeth, it silently approaches and begins its meal, fulfilling its quiet role in the harsh yet balanced cycle of nature. Overcoming fear is the greatest challenge of all. A highly uneven encounter follows, as a Wolverine comes face to face with a wolf. Though much smaller in size, the Wolverine possesses a power that is difficult to predict. Its ferocity and refusal to back down force the larger predator to hesitate, wary of an opponent that appears deceptively weak. In the planet's most hostile, frozen realm, where survival itself is the ultimate trial, the polar bear reigns as the supreme apex predator. Welcome to Polar Bear, ruler of the frozen wastes. On the harsh, frozen landscape, the contrast between polar bears and native dogs is striking. The polar bear is a solitary predator, commanding its environment with immense size and overwhelming strength. In contrast, native dogs are far smaller, surviving through adaptability and the power of the pack. Two different paths leading to the same goal: survival. For bears, the search for a mate is always a top priority. When the breeding season begins, confrontations between male bears become inevitable. In the wild, only the stronger individual gains the advantage and earns the attention of the female. The brutal instinct to hunt sometimes spares no one, not even members of the same species. Driven by overwhelming hunger, a male polar bear is forced to find a way to fill his empty stomach. In these harsh conditions, the young become the easiest targets. Despite the desperate protection of the mother, the superior strength of the fully grown male proves overwhelming, a stark reminder that in the wild, survival comes before all else. The will to survive can rise above fear. Polar bears are facing the most difficult period of their lives. As food becomes increasingly scarce, their chances of survival grow ever more fragile. In such circumstances, stealing food from their own kind becomes the only option, a cruel but necessary decision to endure in the frozen world of the Arctic. The walrus possesses an enormous body and long, dangerous tusks, a living fortress of the ice. Yet hunger drives the polar bear to take the risk. The attack unfolds in a tense instant, as a solitary predator confronts an opponent of overwhelming size and strength. Is approaching such a massive prey a wise choice? The polar bear turns its attention toward the walrus, accepting a highly dangerous decision. But faced with the opponent's sheer size and power, bringing it down is almost impossible. A stark reminder of the limits every predator faces in the polar extremes. On the ice surface, the seal's small breathing holes appear as fragile signs of life. The polar bear waits patiently. Then, suddenly delivers a powerful lunge. This is the critical moment. Will it secure a meal today, or continue its harsh struggle for survival in the frozen polar world? The polar bear memorizes the seal's position among the broken ice and slowly moves closer. Every movement is carefully calculated, and in the decisive moment, the hunt comes to an end. when the massive bear launches a perfectly timed strike, seizing its prey in the silence of the Arctic. The unforgiving environment forces predators to constantly search for food. Upon discovering the carcass of a dead walrus, the polar bear gathers all its strength to drag the heavy body ashore. In this frozen wilderness, even a dead animal can be an invaluable source of life, a rare opportunity to endure. The beluga, the famed white whale, is an unmistakable phantom of the Arctic. Its body glows a ghostly, milky white. A full-grown adult commands a staggering 10 to 15 feet in length and weighs in at a massive 1,100 to 3,300 pounds. Hunting large prey underwater is rarely a strength of the polar bear. Beneath the icy waters, beluga whales move silently, agile and alert. This may be a decisive moment, one in which the polar bear is forced to confront the limits of its own abilities in the harsh, frozen world. Between polar bears and salmon, the relationship is largely opportunistic. As the dominant predator of the sea ice, polar bears rely primarily on seals for survival. Beneath the frigid ice, beluga whales approach a lone breathing hole. Without hesitation, the polar bear plunges into the glacial water, channeling all its might into the attack. Capturing prey stretching 13 feet and weighing nearly 3,300 pounds is a monumental task, even for this apex predator. When the spawning instinct calls, they begin an epic, upstream journey, battling the current for hundreds, even thousands of miles, to return to the exact place of their birth. This is a perilous pilgrimage, demanding immense endurance and a powerful survival instinct. Their torpedo-shaped bodies and solid muscle are engines built to conquer violent rapids and cascading waterfalls. As a keystone species, their flesh is also a vital food source, rich in omega-3s, protein, and vitamins. Between polar bears and salmon, the relationship is largely opportunistic. As the dominant predator of the sea ice, polar bears rely primarily on seals for survival. Salmon are not a regular part of their diet. However, when the ice retreats and opportunity arises, these massive bears will not hesitate to exploit migrating fish, a rare supplemental meal in the harsh world of the Arctic. Seals are marine mammals perfectly adapted to cold and temperate seas, especially in the Arctic and Antarctic. They spend most of their lives in icy waters, where they swim with ease and hunt efficiently. Yet when it is time to rest, give birth, or molt, Seals haul out onto ice floes or remote shorelines, a fragile boundary between safety and danger. Amid the thick Arctic ice, the seal must find a way to reach the air in order to survive. Using its strong claws and hardened snout, it tirelessly scrapes at the frozen surface, creating a small breathing hole that connects to the water above. A vital detail in the silent struggle between life and an unforgiving environment. From the depths below, a great white shark moves in quietly. There is no warning, no sign of danger. Then, in a split second, it bursts upward with terrifying speed. A brutal, yet unavoidable moment in the cold, relentless world of the ocean. Unlike other bears, the polar bear knows no true hibernation. Only a pregnant female will carve a den from the snow, entering a deep slumber to survive the brutal, unforgiving winter. The polar bear's life is forged in brutal ice and snow. The saga begins when a pregnant female carves a sanctuary from the snowpack, a den on solid land, or a stable ice floe. In the heart of the forbidding winter, cubs are born into the tight, silent darkness. They emerge small, blind, and utterly dependent. For the months that follow, their mother remains a willing prisoner of the den, surviving on her own fat reserves to produce the energy-rich milk that is their lifeline. A solitary hunter, the polar bear relentlessly stalks the sea ice, its life a constant quest for prey. Its entire existence is bound to the pulse of the ice, the freeze, and the thaw, for this shifting world dictates its very power to hunt. In the harsh Arctic, every species is a vital link in the fragile natural order. From polar bears controlling prey, to whales, seals, and seabirds transporting energy between the ocean and the ice, every creature contributes to sustaining the flow of life.
In the deep wilderness, the lynx emerges. Welcome to Lynx, Phantom of the Snow Forest. The Eurasian lynx reigns as the largest of its kind on the planet. Its silhouette is unmistakable. Ears crowned with black tufts, a dramatic ruff framing its face, a short, black-tipped tail, and long, powerful legs. cloaked in a spotted coat of gray or brown. This formidable predator stands 23 to 28 inches tall and weighs a staggering 40 to 80 pounds. In the heart of the wild, the war for territory rages on. Two lynx lock into mortal combat, charging the air with tension. Every move is a masterclass in lethal precision and calculated strategy. Territorial lines are where the most savage battles are fought, and in this unforgiving world, only the strong survive. When the instinct to survive and claim a mate awakens, the war between male lynx ignites. They launch themselves at one another, where every pounce is not just an attack, but an emphatic declaration of power. In the relentless struggle for survival, predators clash over scarce food. The silence is shattered by a fierce confrontation between a lynx and a wolf. Facing a formidable foe, the wolf makes a swift retreat to live another day. This is a mismatched showdown between a mountain lion and a lynx. The mountain lion, weighing in at 145 to 170 pounds with a shoulder height of nearly 30 inches, absolutely dwarfs the lynx. While the mountain lion's physique is overwhelmingly superior, the lynx holds the edge in sheer agility. Despite facing a colossal enemy, the lynx's will to survive conquers its fear, forcing it to retaliate against the predator at all costs. The lynx fixes its gaze on two nearby wild ducks. It ambushes, stalks closer, then strikes. The pounce is a blur of raw power and deadly precision. A sudden pang of hunger ignites the hunt. With no sign of its favored prey, the rabbit, the lynx settles for a mouse. It strikes with blinding speed and a powerful pounce, seizing its meal in an instant. Deer are a cornerstone of the lynx's food chain. Targeting larger prey is a perilous gamble. The lynx must tread with lethal precision, for a single misstep means death. The rabbit is the cornerstone of the lynx's diet. A gnawing hunger propels it, a pressing need to fill its stomach, survive the biting cold, the lynx must also secure a vital source of fuel. The lynx commands a critical role in the natural world. As a master predator, it enforces the delicate balance of the ecosystem. It keeps prey populations in check, ensuring only the fittest survive, anchoring the food web, and creating a lifeline of food for countless other species. The very presence of a lynx is the ultimate sign of a wild and healthy land. As winter's grip loosens, the lynx mating season ignites. Gestation is a tense 66 to 70-day countdown, with a new generation unleashed by late spring or early summer. But the cycle of life is dictated by a harsh reality: the success of the previous litter and the abundance of prey. A female whose young perish may breed again annually in a desperate race against time. For a successful mother, the wait is longer, a strategic pause before continuing the dynasty. The lynx leads a life of profound silence and stealth. These are solitary creatures, spending the vast majority of their time alone, their paths crossing only during the brief intensity of mating season or when a mother travels with her young. A true nocturnal predator, it comes alive in the darkness, hunting from the deepening shadows of twilight until the first hint of dawn. When daylight returns, it vanishes, melting into the cover of dense brush, rock crevices, and the sheltering terrain of the wilderness. A titan of the northern hemisphere, the brown bear commands a vast and varied domain, with populations scattered across the land. Their fur shifts in a spectrum of color, from deep umber to pale gold, a unique signature for each clan. They possess a formidable frame, crowned by a massive hump of muscle that channels immense power into their forelimbs, which are armed with long claws engineered for excavation. A prize this valuable will not be shared. With survival on the line, the battle for food turns ferocious. The two bears clash, unleashing every skill they possess. This is a fight with no quarter given. Beyond clashes for territory and food, brown bears also wage war for a mate. The victor claims a partner. The vanquished pays the ultimate price. showdown of strength and patience. When a stranger violates a territorial boundary, rage is unleashed. Two immense powers now clash in a battle for survival. The wilderness is relentless. Predators are always watching, waiting for the chance to eliminate their rivals. The slightest opening is an invitation to war. Danger lurks at every turn. Survival demands extreme vigilance. For the brown bear, the greatest threat they face is each other. On the frigid steppe, the bison stands, a breathing fortress of muscle. Its powerful, precise blows unleash a primal strength and the will to survive. Beneath the surface, the water teems with fish, a vital source of fuel for the brown bear. It strikes with sharp claws and a powerful jaw to seize its prey. Quan alpinus. The red dog is a canid species defined by its slender frame, a coat of reddish-brown fur, and a bushy tail. Its muzzle is notably short compared to many of its wild relatives. A pack dweller, it coordinates with its clan in the hunt, capable of bringing down formidable medium-sized hoofed prey. A lone dog finds itself in a tense standoff with a tiger. Its courage evaporates, replaced by a primal fear. It keeps its distance, desperate to avoid a confrontation with the lethal predator. A pack of wild dogs closes in on massive prey, a wild buffalo. But with lethal horns capable of goring any foe, the buffalo shatters the pack's hunting formation. Engineered for the extremes. Its thick, smoke gray coat, shattered by dark rosettes, provides ultimate camouflage and insulation against the brutal cold. A remarkably long, heavy tail acts as a counterbalance on treacherous cliffs and a vital wrap for warmth. Massive, fur-lined paws function as natural snowshoes for silent passage over deep snow. Stands a formidable 22 or 26 inches at the shoulder, weighing in at 119 pounds. Silence descends, a chilling omen of the coming clash. The fated encounter begins. A snow leopard against a native pack. The air grows thick with tension until, overwhelmed by the dogs, the leopard is forced to abandon its kill. In the raw calculus of survival, the snow leopard's hunt begins. Keen senses lock onto its target, a distant mountain goat. Each step is a masterclass in calculated stealth. But the goats, ever vigilant, sense the stalking predator. The opportunity is lost. The snow leopard's hunt begins. A lone mountain goat is locked in its sights, the chase now inevitable. Against such a formidable predator, the goat's fate is all but sealed. Amidst towering, precipitous peaks, a lone mountain goat has been locked in the sights of a snow leopard. The predator closes the distance, each step a deliberate calculation. For the goat, there is no escape from the ruthless hunter. Driven by a gnawing hunger, the snow leopard is on the hunt. It spots a herd of mountain goats just ahead. The ambush begins. The goat senses the danger and makes a clean escape. Towering up to 6, 6 feet and weighing a staggering 2,600 pounds, the yak is a daunting quarry for the snow leopard. The showdown ignites. The predator inches forward, each step deliberate, for a single miscalculation could invite a fatal blow from this colossal beast. In a harsh, unforgiving world, few species can survive. Yet, the eagle is one of the rare few that endures. They command the towering mountain ranges of the northern hemisphere, armed with lethally sharp senses. A mature adult can measure nearly 3 feet long and weigh almost 9 pounds. To survive, eagles are locked in a constant war for prey. Treading the thin line between life and death, they are forced to become stronger. This is a battle of the powerful, with no place for the weak. At altitudes where life itself is fragile, the instinct for survival burns fiercely. To feed its young, an eagle is forced to snatch prey from a vulture. However, faced with a ferocious counterattack, the eagle must retreat to ensure its own survival. In the vast sky, the eagle, an apex predator, unfurls its mighty wings. In an instant, it seized the fish with its razor-sharp talons. Atop a frozen summit, the eagle patiently waits. It soars on outstretched wings, surveying the world below. The eagle dives, stealing the prize from their grasp. Conflict is not confined to the adults. It erupts even among the young. They viciously turn on one another, fighting for their share. It is the raw cruelty of nature itself that ignites these confrontations. A powerhouse of energy and an irresistible target, the salmon plays a fatal role in the eagle's food chain. High on sheer cliffs, eagles build their nests, safe from ruthless predators. Since the eaglets cannot rip into the kill themselves, their mother shreds the meat, feeding them morsel by morsel. A cunning predator of the canine family, the fox is a creature of pure speed and intelligence. With razor-sharp hearing and a piercing gaze, it locks onto prey from afar, stalking in utter silence before striking with blinding speed. Fox versus hound. Despite the size disparity, the fox stands unflinching. The standoff is tense, with the nimble fox evading every blow from its adversary. With lethal precision, the fox digs for its prey. In a flash, the marmot is trapped in its jaws. The dark coat is a cloak of shadows, rendering the fox invisible to its prey. After a relentless hunt, it finally claims its worthy feast. Beneath the deep snow, a mouse takes refuge. But with its razor-sharp hearing, a fox can detect the faintest stir. Once targeted, the mouse's fate is sealed. A formidable rodent of the squirrel family, the marmot conquers the frigid, high-altitude grasslands of Europe, Asia, and North America. Their stocky bodies, shielded by thick fur, are built to endure the biting cold, compelling them to carve out deep burrows for sanctuary. The showdown between the Marmot and the Tibetan Mastiff is a testament to the will to survive and the tenacity of the small. Faced with a larger, overwhelmingly powerful foe, these tiny creatures have never backed down. Snatched by a mother eagle and carried to an eyrie on a sheer cliff, the marmot appeared resigned to its fate. Thank you for being part of the journey. If you're a true lover of nature and the untamed wild, support our mission. Like, share, and subscribe to venture with us on the next thrilling expedition.